What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Kyle Alston once here again. I'm interviewing my 91-year-old grandfather on issues of life. Okay. So, Grandpa, how do you feel about Donald Trump?
Well, first place, I never knew Trump was no politician. See, I never knew he was no politician. Matter of fact, he was out looking to make money for himself, not nobody else. And how they put him in to be president, I don't understand that, because first place, he wasn't a politician, and I don't think he knew that much about politics. And you could tell that he didn't know that much about it, because look how many people, 10 or 15 people he done fired since he been in there.
Right, that's true.
Some of these were good people, and some of them possibly weren't, but he can't keep nobody in his administration to work with him. Nobody work with him, because first place, he don't understand what he's doing, I don't think. Not to run this country, not to run the United States. Anybody that can run New York and Washington is what you call excellent politicians, especially one in Washington. You understand?
Yeah.
See, he don't know anything about politics, running politics, people as a whole, outside of what he's doing, gambling, trying to make money, crooks, and everything else. And the first place about it, that Donald Trump, I don't know how many American people in America, going back to my age, that know that he even knew the Russians, and that's what turned me off with him, is because we didn't know until after he done got it to be president that he was so close with the Russians. The United States have been having trouble with Russia for the past 50 or 60 years. Yeah. And when they found out anything that he was friends with Russia, then that's an undercut to the average American, because they figured that Russia was more or less an enemy to this country.
But is that fact or fiction that he's
facts?
He's tied with them.
He didn't even got facts, but he got in some kind of way to deal with them. And I don't know just how many Americans really understood or knew that he was dealing with the Russians so closely, and a lot of things. And that's what turned me off with Donald Trump. Because you see, now I've been in New York a long time, since I was a youngster. And I read a lot, and I study a lot of things. And going back to the 50s, early 50s, the United States have had trouble with Russia.
Yeah.
So what happened was, here lately, in the past 2 or 3 years or so, all of a sudden, his name, it was flushed out, where they found out that he was dealing with Russia, when he was supposed, as far as we were concerned, an enemy. He was an enemy to the United States. And that's what turned me off with him, because I said, well, how could he have been such a friend with Russia behind the backs of the United States? See? Now, I was just reading here in the paper, this judge down in Washington, and this man that he was an officer in the service, and he was in the service for 30-some years, and he come out and hooked up with Donald Trump. And this judge got on him about that, because he was playing a double standard under Trump. Double standard. After 37 years in the United States government, what he did was, he started to dealing with one of the foreign countries over there for money.
Right.
And he's going to let his whole 37 years in the military for the United States, he's going to sell that out to make $1, to make money off of it. So now, when this judge caught him doing this, the judge says he deserved time in prison, losing all them 37 years he put into service.
Yeah.
This judge says no, he's going to have to serve some time, one way or the other, he was running into something to this country. In other words, he's going against his own country after fighting for them for 30-some years,
But other than the Russian scandal, how do you feel about it as a whole? Do you feel he's doing a good job, a bad job?
Who, Trump?
Trump. Because so far the economy is good.
The economy, not because of Trump. The economy is not going good on account of Trump, not for the sake of Trump. The country was doing the same thing he's doing right now. He shut the whole government down, but the people still living, people still are having a good time.
Right.
That's not because of Trump.
Yeah.
Because of Trump. And not only that, he's even undercut a lot of them because first place, shutting the country down, financially speaking, the people can't even get paid.
But he's shutting it down because he strongly feels we need a wall. How do you feel about mass immigration in this country? How do you feel about that?
Immigration?
Yeah.
And immigration is a very tough subject. I've often sit up many nights thinking about immigration. You know, if people are down hungry, don't have food, clothes, roof over their head, that's not the American way. That's not the spiritual way of living on this earth. If you have and people don't have like a sense like that, then you're supposed to try to help those people. Now, this country is built, actually, in most cases, off of immigrants. That's a very important thing. It was built off of immigrants.
Yeah.
Everyone you see here practically is an immigrant from some other area.
Right.
And to come in here, and when he came to a horse and buggies. I don't know whether you've seen this part of the country or not, but out west especially, remember see the mule trains with the horses and all? People were sitting in there with big bonnets on, hats, and long dresses, the women. That's how they ate on there, they slept on there, and all of this. This is the one that built the country up to where it is today. And today is a different story from what it was during those years. First, this country built itself up to get to where it is, where it have. And whereas if people want to migrate to this country or come to this country because they're being persecuted in their own country where they live at, where they're born and raised, and the leaders are killing them and not feeding them, no clothing, no place to live, and they try to run and come to America for a better life, just like the old ones done before.
I agree, but there are two things. They're coming here and taking over. And two, some of them, not all of them, they come here and killing the blacks, for example.
Well, now that's another point to get into too. Out of everyone that is here, you'll find certain people that they're doing it every day, things like that.
Right.
You cannot use that as a parable to the poor little babies. The little babies, when they come, the women come with the little child, they're not coming to kill and murder, right?
Right.
They're young, they can't kill a little child, a baby in the mother's arms or whatnot.
Right.
Child ain't got food to eat, ain't got clothes on its back, ain't got a roof over their head.
Right.
They're not coming to kill. So when you speak about immigrant, it's a wide open thing about the thing about immigrants. And this country so far, it has a means of weeding out criminals from the legitimate, from honest people. So that's something you have to think that thing very carefully. If the people are coming into the country, I can understand one factor that says this: you don't let criminals in the country, you don't do this, you don't. Well, what happened way years ago before this country was a good country? They came here then, the people came then, who were they? They come and they got here. They raised their children, their families and whatnot. You understand?
Right, right.
That same thing, even like the slaves. When they brought the slaves here on boats, they brought them here on boats. You don't know who was a criminal from who wasn't a criminal. Of course, they adopted all of us, but blacks, I guess, at that time, as criminals anyway. You had no business here in the first place. Well, a lot of the people say, we bring them here. Why did the blacks get here? They brought them here slave and to work to help build this country, which they done years ago.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Yeah.
They helped them build. They didn't all cut. So, in other words, when you say a word like criminals, when they brought all of us here, they might have been some criminals among the ones which brought them slaves, but the majority of them were honest, hard back, breaking, working people that helped build the country.
Right.
Now, as to what would happen if some of them turn out to be criminals, so some is criminals. It's the same thing like anything else.
That's true.
You understand?
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
you gotta. That's a wide open statement to say that they're coming as criminals. Using one parable, they're coming as criminals and the this and the that. But like I say, the little babies and the children and the people who need food to eat, clothes on their back, a roof on their head or whatnot, they're not criminals. How could they be criminals?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But
See, so you can't use that as a parable, you know? If I can understand some people says that, and I can understand some of that again too about them criminals. I don't want them criminals to come around me either. I don't want none of them around me, you know?
That's why you come here legally. You have to come to the border, not over the border. You have to come to immigration.
Well,
That's how you do it.
yeah. Well, I guess that's the way out.
Right.
That may be the only way out. Then you come straight through where you come through by the border and, like you should, instead of sneaking over the things to come across. I can understand some of that again too. You don't jump across them the walls and fence to come over. But I wouldn't want to be the one to judge who should come and who shouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be the one to do the judging on it because it's a very technical thing to do that. But like he says that if you come legally, if there's ways which is set up for you to come legally, then let them come legally. Then okay, then try working that out and see how that work out. You know,
Right.
And another thing I don't like about it is their leaders. I thought it was only Mexico. I didn't know it was El Salvador and all them other countries coming through by Mexico to come to this country.
Right.
I didn't know all of them was coming here. I thought it was the Mexicans trying to come across the border. And what I had said was, why the United States could save themselves a lot of money, or why wouldn't they fund Mexico financially, set the jobs up, and financially speaking, with all the money that they are spending on the Mexicans coming across, spend this money up and help them build their country up and put factories in their country so that the people will want to stay home instead of coming here.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Exactly, Grandpa.
That was my idea. I just figured it out myself.
Because look at it this way. Okay, there was a study done that 30 years from now, America will be 40% Hispanic.
Well, that's another thing. Now, that's another thing. I sat down years ago here, for quite a few years ago, I was thinking to myself, I said, first of all, foreigners wasn't all around the United States all over it. I said, but sooner or later, they will be coming one by one, and when they multiply, like having children, they have plenty of them, so many.
Exactly.
And there are going to be a lot of them. They're going to, legally speaking, they're all going to be coming here.
Right.
They'll be getting here anyway. And the same thing that I thought then is the same thing what is happening now. I never tell them about it because I figure, who am I? I'm not no big timer, big judge, lawyer, teacher, principal, nobody. But I'm thinking these things to myself. I said, now sooner or later, the United States are going to be, and if we're having like a voting system we have here in this country, you vote for your presidents or you vote for your congressmen or your leaders or whatnot, well, you vote for them. They're going to outdo you because the majority of them, their population is going to rise much bigger than yours in this country.
And that's what they're trying to do. Right.
That's
they're trying to stop that.
But the only trick about it is I only was looking at one way. But come to think about it, and as I look back on it, and as I watched it, reading a lot and all like that, it ain't only one nationality is coming in doing that. You got about 50 more. You got the what is it? The Muslims coming in. They under the United States. They're building places here and there. They first started, say, around New York. Then they moved to Jersey, Florida. They're all over the South.
That's the same thing going on too. With Brexit in England, the same thing.
All right.
Mass immigration. They're trying to stop that.
Yeah. Well, now and then to turn right around again too. When I looked around again, I just reading here lately. Out west, Denver, Colorado, Oklahoma, and all them places, they're migrating out into those areas now. And what they're trying, but see this whole thing here, Kyle, is a funny thing. See, you were too young to remember, but you had the communism, the fascism, and all of those different groups and organizations. They fell. Communism fell. The United States were going to help all of the other countries around the world. The United States call themselves helping those countries. Those countries' religions fell. The Muslims went under, like Saddam and all of those foreign leaders and all.
Mussolini.
All of them,
Yes.
all of
Yes.
them mixed up in there. But finally, at one time, what they believed in from those countries, they fell. So now here's the trick. Russia and all of the rest of them, they fell. Communism.
Right.
Russia restored to communism. They fell down. The countries fell, and they began to change them over to the democratic way of life. Those people were sitting back waiting. They were waiting for this day to come. Like right now, where a man like Trump is in there, messed this country up inch by inch, and they're laughing at America now because they say, well, now, you said your country was so good one time, and mine wasn't. You killed my country. You knocked my country down. Now let's see about you and your country, see what happened. So they didn't get America from outside. They got them from within. They worked them from the inside, and they're seeing this country fall down now too. That's what they would. That's what they wanted. They wanted to see the idea of the democratic way of life fall in this country, just like they claim the United States helped it go down in their country. And they're still working on it. They ain't finished yet. You've got all of these different organizations, from like I said, the Muslims, and all of those different organizations. I see it every day right now. Is they got a fool like Trump in there again too. He's gonna help them do it because see, they call themselves being slick against the blacks. Most cases, they hold the blacks down, wouldn't let the blacks get but so far, and then look around at what happened to them. Now they were looking, but now them other countries indirectly has helped as far as the average blacks are concerned, or I'm concerned. If this country falls, what have I got to lose? I've been here all my life. I've been here for 91 years. To me, if it falls, it falls. From a child growing up having nothing, just like those people are coming here now. That's the way I was very more or less had and raised when I came up as a child. We didn't have nothing.
Right.
Matter of fact, many nights we slept in the barn. A lot of nights my stomach wasn't full either, because I didn't have enough food to eat. So you see, there ain't many of us left today. But today, okay, I got I can eat today. I have a place to live.
Right.
But the white man sure give me a hard time. He got my parents a hard time coming up as a child growing up in the United States, or as a baby, from the time I was born up and all like that.
And speaking of that,
We didn't have a fine home. I didn't have no fine home in places like that, like the white man have. Okay, they worked themselves up to get it, what they got. My parents wasn't fortunate to work up to get it because of what you got. Down the way I was born and raised at and all like that.
right.
A nickel and a penny meant a hell of a lot.
Right.
It meant a whole lot, a nickel or a dime. So you see, it's a whole mixed up thing
Okay.
about life.
And speaking of that, about parents, today in the black community, 70% of black children are born out of wedlock. 70%. Why do you feel the black man is not the head of the family anymore?
That's a hard question again too. That's a hard question because, see, I don't know. The young kid, I'm looking at them every day. I see judge, and I should be a master at knowing about things like that. Every day I watch this Judge Toll on TV.
Judge divorce court, yeah.
Well, now that woman, she's excellent. She's excellent for any youngsters growing up to put her show on every day and look at it, because she's going to tell young people, and she explains to them what their parents should have told them.
Right.
About raising a family, or how you care for your children and a family. And them the young boys are in there and all like that. Most of them think it's fun to go around. You'll have 10 different children, 10 different places. Yeah, well, I take my family. How can he take care of his family? He ain't taking care of himself. And not one child. And I watch that every single day. It's the most pitiful thing there is on this earth, to watch them black ones. He's so stupid and so ignorant. You don't have to be a college graduate to know to love. You don't have to be a college graduate to love. if you know what type of life you was raised up in, you don't want it for your children. I never wanted a day like that, and I made damn sure that it never happened with me and my children. At least if I didn't have a whole lot to give them, I was there to see them when they cry, when they sleep, and just whatever they needed. I was there to able to try and see and make sure that they had food to eat, place to live, and things of that nature, what they needed, until he was able to do for himself. You take an animal in the forest out there. You ever watch the animal out there?
Yeah.
You ever take him how he would take? And sometime up until this day, I look at it, and to me, it strikes me again too that mother or that animal that had that child, she will make sure that that child have a place to stay, and she'll go into the bears. You ever notice on TV now, a bear go break in a person's house?
Mm-hmm.
The bear's so smart. A bear, not a human being, a bear knows how to go and sometimes bust people's door. He'll know how to bust that door open, go in that house and get some food for his children and come out of there and go on back out in the forest where he come from.
Exactly.
That is a very deep, deep subject, but it's a humanistic thing. To look at it, to see it, to me, I cannot, sometimes it get in my mind. The other day here, last week it was, here's some guy, the girl left him at home with the child while she went to work. He killed the baby.
Yes, I know.
Those are the things that get to me the most, and the most humanistic thing about, the blacks. Now that's one thing. He don't have no feelings for nobody, a woman. And then when he should, that's the woman, his child. That's what life is all about, multiplying from one generation to another. He don't think about, well, I'll raise my children to grow, to be grown, and if they'll have children, and they'll do the same thing for their children. He don't think about things like that. He don't think about, the only thing he think about is just one thing for himself.
Right.
That Judge Toller is an excellent preacher, teacher, and everything that you can think of to a young, especially to the young black children, the young black men, I'd say. It's very pitiful, very pitiful. I look at it every day. I look at her, and I get a very good kick out of her looking and talking to them black young kids when they come up there for. And some of them are so messed up in their mind and all like that until he'll think he's so smart, he'll out-slick you. He ain't doing nothing. He'll go get a few dollars. And what he do with it, he'll go and buy movie videos or something like that, maybe instead of the child having food over here.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's to the black man, it's a very pitiful sight.
Right.
I wouldn't want to tell nobody that outside.
Right.
But that's just about where the black man is. The black man, they need the special schools to teach young black men how to take care of their families.
Yes, they do.
The majority of them.
They
need
do.
special classes and special schools to teach it and explain to him what life is all about too.
Because what happens is, in the black community, there's no father in the home, so teach the boys, And the minute like men like you, over 90 are dying off, so there's no example anymore. Like you, Grandma Jenny, been married for 50 years. Mm. Nowadays, marriages don't last no more than
30
a few
minutes.
years, right?
Mm. Mm. Well, you see, now those are the things that's important.
Right.
Those are the things that the young black man need to know and need to do. And like I say, I watch her show every day. I watch their shows every day because basically speaking, it's about the same thing. Even a lot of the men that's married, they come on to call the divorce court. Then when you ask him certain things about life, about a family or whatnot, oh no, well, the wife is always saying, I'll go out, I'll do this and I'll do that. Or either I'll work 1 or 2 jobs I'm trying to help, plus I got the children. When he come in, or he got to come in, he got to keep so much for himself to go out with, to do this with, and do other things that he should with and whatnot. It's pitiful. It's very, very pitiful. But every day I sit and I watch. I tell Cheryl, and sometimes sitting and watching. She look at it and she knows. But it's just a pitiful sight with the blacks, man. It's bad enough that the white man worked on the blacks, kept you down, and so forth. But yet still the black man, he come out up there. If he get his hands on $1 over here and his family needs 50 cents or 75 cents over there, he tell you, brother, take it and go somewhere else and have a good time with it. You know, that's the way his mind works. But it's very pitiful. You know, that's something that every black man should listen to. Something like this woman on TV. You know,
Yeah.
because every day I look at Judge Toller. Every day because I find her very, very smart and very interesting, and she being a woman on top of it. You know, and I look at them sometimes, and a lot of them young fellas when they come up, then that the things that she's telling them, that rightfully speaking, when it comes to be right about a family and children and whatnot, a lot of them stop and look at her and stop and think, and they think this is the first time in their lives that they ever thought that way, that they're supposed to do certain things for a family. They didn't know that before.
Right.
Until you tell them, and when she explained it to them, they say, yeah, well, that's right, that's right, that's right. They can't say nothing no more. So what she's saying is right. You know? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And a lot of times they should be taught again too. They should be taught from an early stage. If you don't expect to take care of a family, then don't go get into it that way.
Right.
That's one thing the black kids and the black young kids don't understand and don't never knew. If you don't expect, because life is repetition. Repetition means it evolves, revolves, it goes around. What goes around, as I say, comes around. That is the way life is. If you got on this earth and someone had to take care of you, to give you bread to eat, to get you where you are, or get you as far as you could go in life, then when you turn around and you start getting out into the things, start trying to with a family or with a child and whatnot, then that's your responsibility there too.
Right.
And then that child, like I said, life is a repetition. It's a repetition, one from the other. It don't just stop at your generation. Say once you get your hand, if you get $1 on your hand, that's yours to keep for yourself now. If it is, try to think far ahead. The Bible will tell you things like that. You know what I mean? You don't look only for the day, but then there's tomorrow that has to come too.
Right.
Well, the same thing like it is with a young child if you have a child. But they don't do that, man.
I'm gonna end up asking 2 questions. How do you define manhood?
Well, how would I define manhood?
Yes, sir.
To me, it's very easy because I had to go through it. I did go through it, but to explain it right now offhand, my mind is on a lot of other things besides that. But manhood is it's one of the major features that is on God's earth. Manhood, man, woman, and child, and being a man, to me, as you grow older, you have a parent that if your parents raise you up, just like I just said, your parents raise you, and then you get up, and as soon as you get to be a certain age and all, you're able to get out on your own and live for yourself and try to make life good for you. But then if you start into the family business away, you teach your child to do the same thing. And some black parents are doing that to their children now. Same people did you see them on television right there? Them good boys, a lot of them grew up, their parents took care of them, they sent them to school and whatnot. He went on out there another day, he's making millions.
Right.
But then now he's got a family, he got children. He is supposed to set the groundwork for his children's children. That's life.
I agree 100%.
Life is a repetition. I say it's a repetition. It's revolving around. What goes around comes around. And that's the way, that's real life. That's what it is. It's not like a lot of young people take it. But that's what life is all about.
Now, I'm going to end this. One last question. You're 91 years old, okay? A lot of women today, not all our girls today don't cook and clean. So these kids are eating McDonald's and Wendy's, So how do you define womanhood as you see it?
Shoot. Now that's a good question, Ed.
Right.
In my house, I know what it was with your grandmother.
Right.
We met, we got together, and we both worked, but we both had a responsibility. When I was 16 or 17 years old, I didn't know no different, but my parents was hard and heavy. I was able to get up and go out and hustle around, make a little change and whatnot to bring back to give to my mother. That was to help us feed food, put a little bit of food in the house for us to eat. That was me growing up as a youngster, coming up and all like that. But life was very hard during that time. I was able to try to go to school. I went to school. I only went so far. By the time I got third grade in school, I had enough education to last me the rest of my life almost. It did was. When I got to the seventh grade, I never finished high school. I didn't finish high school, but I had enough education that I was dealing with people who would finish high school and college. I went to take tests. I went to take a test. I took a test one time, 2 or 3 times. I started taking a test on my job after mopping and scrubbing floors and going to school at night. I took a test and I passed one test as a foreman. I kept on going to school at night and working in daytime and coming home, taking care of them, looking out for my children. Same Billy, Genevieve, Charlotte, and all the rest of them. Okay. I work and I go to school once or 2 nights a week. I first was a caretaker, then I was a foreman of caretakers. And then I was able to take another test for assistant superintendent. Now here's kids high school was getting these jobs because they had the education and whatnot. I took a test as assistant. I passed the test. I didn't get as high as the person got, but I got on the list. And it takes me longer, like where he got it right away. It took me 2 years to get a promotion to make the money. I'm looking to make money now, you know what I mean, to move on up the way.
Right.
And it took so I got to be a foreman, then assistant superintendent. And my last one was superintendent. Now I went from the bottom to the top.
There you go.
I didn't finish high school or nothing.
Right.
And I didn't finish in high school. I was able to, that was a high school kid type job or either college kid. Those are the ones who was up there. I was dealing with them, but I still got there.
Right.
Only because I tried to do the right thing. Only because I tried to do the right thing. I tried to stay right, keep right, and do what I had to do and take care of my business.
That's
and that
good.
was life for me.
That's good. All right.
Up to the present day.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grandpa William Floyd. I'm signing off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grandpa.
Okay.